AL West behind the surging Angels. The Rangers at 30-27 taking on the last place team in the AL West. And we welcome you to the ballpark in Arlington tonight. Nice night for baseball. Along with Tom Grieve, I'm Josh Lewin. We've talked about Colby Lewis a lot on the pregame show. Colby against the Seattle Mariners. A couple times this year it went very well.
Yeah, Colby has been at his best against Seattle. There's no doubt about it. In early April, he beat them with a 7-inning game, only gave up 1 run. Later on in the season,
other guy tonight as well, because on the mound for Seattle, you've got King Felix. You got Felix Fernandez. What a by Progressive. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. By Jack in the Box. Try Jack's new grilled breakfast sandwich. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. Elvis Andrews is ready to go. Michael Young is ready to go. The Rangers are ready to try and get back to where they have been for much of the year. That's first place. The Angels making that tough. They've won 6 straight. And the Rangers are now a half a game out, although they've got 3 games in hand on the Angels. They've played 60 games, the Rangers only 57.
Kenny Rogers versus Gary DiSarcina of the Angels.
Play-by-play from Ian Kinsler, ladies and gentlemen.
that can be a little bit dangerous right there.
Yeah, it really can. Live television is a funny thing, Zach. All right, here we go. For real, the Rangers take the field on a 90-degree evening. No kidding. It can really be of interest sometime. Justin Smoke had the night off yesterday as well. He's back out there. Don Wakamatsu never takes a night off. He's the manager of the Seattle team. One-time Ranger bench coach and a Keller resident. Here's the lineup that Don
They've gone well. He's 4-4. His ERA is solid, fewer hits than innings pitched. Still the third best opponent's batting average in the league. And we talked about his 2 starts against Seattle. 16 innings, 8 hits, and 1 run. He's pitched outstanding baseball against Seattle. He's been solid all season long against everybody. And tonight the Rangers would love to win a ball game. They've lost a couple straight. Time to come out and win a game. Kobe's going to have to be good tonight against Felix Fernandez. He's on a pretty nice roll himself.
Yeah, we'll talk plenty about Hernandez tonight, who's coming off back-to-back 8-inning, 1-run efforts. And Seattle, a team that was supposed to be a lot better than this, but they just can't hit. They got one big hit yesterday. Don Wakamatsu started Michael Saunders in the 8th spot, and Saunders responded with a 3-run home run that kind of carried the whole game.
Yeah, and after the 3-run homer, they didn't do anything. They got an unearned run off Scott Feldman a couple innings later. But it really was that one pitch. It was kind of a hanging cutter, high and right down the middle of the plate that he hit out of the ballpark about a row back, and that was pretty much it.
The Rangers defensively tonight, remember Nelson Cruz is still on the DL. You've got Hamilton, Bourbon, and Murphy in the outfield. Young, Andrews, Kinsler, and Smoke around the horn there in the infield. The catcher tonight is Max Ramirez. With Matt Trainer getting the evening off, he should be playing tomorrow. Max catching a guy who is 4-4 with an ERA of 3.6. Those are very comparable numbers, Tom, to King Felix. Felix is 3-4, ERA of about 3.3. Balls and strikes are being called tonight by Jeff Nelson. Mark Carlson at first, Larry Vanover, Jeff Kellogg, the other umpires tonight. Ichiro, a wild swing.
Well, when Ichiro gets ahead in the count, that's occasionally when he'll try to hit the ball a long way, which he was trying to do then. For the most part, he's just trying to line a base hit through the infield or get his infield hits. He's got 20 infield hits already this season. If he gets 200 hits this year, he's got a shot of getting 50 or 55 infield hits. 25 or 30% of his hits have a chance to be infield hits this year.
You know, you've got to release it right away if it's hit to you in the infield. And this is nothing new. Actually tied for first right now in hits with Robinson Cano. And signage-wise, you can see that Ichiro makes a difference. The Rangers would normally have that particular advertisement right behind home plate. Most games anyway, but for Ichiro, with his game going back to Japan, it seems to make sense. Popped into left field.
A lot of good pitches right there from Kobe. Ichiro really didn't come close to hitting the ball hard in fair territory. Got the fastball in, just ticked his slider. Took a few pitches to get it done. Ichiro battled up there, but Kobe came out ahead with a little pop up to left field.
Milton Bradley, whose batting average has been a colossal disappointment in the 2 teams most of the year. He will take strike 1. Right away, 0-2.
Hard breaking ball right there. And we mention this at least once every time Kobe pitches. One thing that everybody appreciates about Kobe is he stays on top of the mound, gets the ball back from the catcher, and looks back in for his sign. No wasted movement out there on the mound. Not one of those guys that paces the mound, walks in back of the mound. Pretty much gets the ball, gets his sign, and throws again.
Right back to work on 1 and 2. He's going to miss outside. A 4-2 final yesterday. The Rangers losing to Seattle. They had to get those 2 runs in the 9th to avoid the shutout. Cliff Lee was amazing. 3rd complete game shutout by a Mariner ever in this ballpark. Or, excuse me, 3rd complete game. He didn't get the shutout. That is a strike 3 call to Bradley. Took a step towards first and then was told no, sir.
Right near the outside corner. Talk about the umpire and the tough job you have when you're umpiring behind home plate. You show that pitch tracker, and it's pretty much black and white based on what the pitch tracker says, if it's a ball or a strike. But the umpire's got the same problem the hitter does. He doesn't know what kind of pitch it's coming, is coming. It moves. It gets there in a split second, 90 miles an hour. And so when a pitch is an inch or two a strike or a ball, you have to give the umpire a little bit of leeway, because it's pretty tough to see it exactly where it is.
Oh, 2 to Franklin Gutierrez is slotted foul back in the crowd. And we should point out that rectangle is not exact science either. It's a pretty good guideline, we think. Lewis rocks and deals, and another foul from Gutierrez. Well, the Mariners with that win yesterday, getting to 2-5 against the Rangers for the year. Their first win here. Lewis deflects it right to Elvis Andrews. That works out well. It's a 1-2-3 top of the first, and the Rangers will look to load it up with Elvis against the King. Felix Fernandez on the mound when we come back. Hamilton His hot June has gotten him to a .300 batting average for the year on the button. Murphy and Smoke, Ramirez and Bourbon. Hard to believe that Felix Fernandez is only 24 years old, Tom. Seems like we've been talking about him for 5 or 6 years, and actually that's true. He debuted at the age of 19.
He's had 12 starts this year. He's pitching really well lately. Overall stats are excellent. Exactly what you'd expect. He is starting his 5th full season. Last 3 starts, 1-1 with a 1.56 ERA, 4 earned runs in 23 innings. So he's throwing the ball well. Looking at his last 3 starts.
Elvis went 2 for 3 against him in Seattle back in May, and the one out was a line shot right back to Felix Fernandez. That ball's hard hit under the glove of Josh Wilson. And Elvis not missing a beat. That is now a 13-game hitting streak for him. And 32 of the last 35 games with a base hit for Elvis.
Gets ahead in the count, gets one right down in the center square, and gets it right back through the middle. Did it well, too, right on the good part of the bat.
The only longer current hit streak right now belongs to Vernon Wells of Toronto. Vernon spending his off day here in the Metroplex yesterday. Made an appearance at the Pro Players Golf Tournament in South Lake. Young hammers it. Base hit for Michael. Andrews stops at second. Michael Young gets to within 10 hits of Pudge Rodriguez now for the all-time franchise lead.
2 pretty well hit balls right off the bat against Felix Fernandez.
Now, keeping in mind his last 2 starts, he gave up only 1 run in 8 innings in both of them.
And both of them just out of the reach of the infielder.
And indeed, 10 to go now for Michael. 2 games left on the homestand after tonight, so it's looking more and more like it's going to happen in Milwaukee or Miami. And boy, for the Rangers now, Tom, 5 of the last 6 men to have faced Felix Fernandez over 2 different starts have actually gotten on. That doesn't happen very often against this guy.
He had a season last year that was terrific. Second in the Cy Young voting. He was 19-5. Had the second best ERA, 2.49. The third most innings, 238 innings. He was a workhorse. Most innings he's ever had. They watched his innings a little bit when he was 19, 20, 21.
Kinsler hits it slowly. Then it works like a sacrifice. The runners move. Kinsler's out. Vlad Guerrero coming up. Ian's been slumping, but that one really does work out okay for the team. Ian does take an 0 for 1, but you got the second best RBI guy in the majors up right now with runners at second and third.
They've got 2 guys coming up. Guerrero, if they want to pitch around Guerrero. Josh is swinging the bat well. He's got his average up to 300. That elimination of the toe tap about a week ago seems to have been successful, at least early. The early going is that it's been successful. Clint Hurdle and Josh decided to give that a try. Clint thought it would make him more consistent, see the ball a little bit better, and so far so good.
Vlad skips one into the Seattle dugout. That's a happy hitting coach that gets to work with Vlad Guerrero. No doubt. Clint can say it is on his watch that Vlad had the bounce back season. That is quite a watch that he wears too, by the way. Did you see that thing when we showed the picture of him? See if we can get another shot of Clint. Most coaches don't wear a watch that big, just saying. Nothing wrong with it. Just eye-catching.
That might be one of those watches that keeps on ticking a couple hundred feet in the ocean underneath the water. Or in outer space.
Vlad gets a piece and hangs around.
Well, he just barely got a piece. You know, almost every at bat, not every at bat, but frequently you can say, well, Vlad helped the pitcher out by swinging at that one, but you'd sound like a broken record if you said it every time it happened. That's just the way he hits.
Certainly not something you teach. Felix Fernandez strikes him out. And Vlad is a tough guy to strike out. He does so here with runners at second and third.
He's going for the strikeout right there, too. He's getting his best breaking ball a little bit lower now in the strike zone. And you know a guy's got good stuff when they could do that to Vlad in that situation, second and third and one out, when all he's got to do is put the ball in play, basically, to get a run in.
Josh Hamilton, who homered the last time he faced Felix Fernandez back in May. Up until then, he had been 3 for 25 against Fernandez, but that home run that he hit at Safeco Field helped drive him from the game.
It seems over the last month, this situation, second and third, first and third, less than 2 outs, has been a situation that's given the Ranger hitters a lot of problems. No particular hitter, but just been a lot of games where the Rangers have failed to get that run in from third base. And it's unusual for a lineup with a lot of veteran hitters who are used to hitting in those situations. Just something they're going through right now. It won't be something that lasts the whole season, but recently it's been a little bit of a problem.
To left field, Saunders diving, can't get it. 2 runs are in. Hamilton's got a double. The Rangers on top early.
Oh, what a clutch hit right there, too. He's got 2 strikes. Fernandez had struck out Guerrero on a hard curveball. He tried to sneak that fastball by Josh, and Josh was ready for it, and he ripped it. And fortunately, Saunders couldn't quite get it.
Take it back to the pitch before.
That's a good curveball to get ahead in the count. Not sure why he didn't try to come back with the same pitch. Instead, he tried a fastball. Not a bad pitch. It's down a little bit, but down and away. Just the new style without the toe tap seems to have really helped Josh. And he continues to get big hits and knock in big runs. That's Saunders, a huge one right there.
Yeah, and Saunders came real close to making this catch. But he didn't. And the Rangers lead 2-0. They never did have a lead yesterday. Didn't get 2 runs until the 9th. But Cliff Lee yesterday, 23 balls, 86 strikes. Going all the way.
You know, the funny thing about yesterday, as great as he was, and that was a great performance, no doubt about it, one bad pitch to Matt Trainer, and he might have left that game without a win.
That would have been one of the all-time comebacks.
It would have. They had a couple of runs in, still 2 men on, and Matt was swinging the bat well last night, too. He had some good swings.
Murphy pops one foul. Yep. There is Cliff Lee, who ended up with the no-walk, 7 strikeout performance. And I think one of the big plays in that 9th inning, Tom, was the play that Jose Lopez made at third base, a diving stop on a ball hit by Joaquin Arias. He turned that into an out. A 5-4 fielder's choice. A run did score on the play, but if that ball had gotten into left field, who knows how that inning goes.
Exactly.
Another foul by Murphy. Rangers never did get an extra base hit in that game yesterday. In fact, the only extra base hit of the entire game, both teams combined, was that 3-run homer by Saunders. Pretty unusual for this ballpark to only see 1 extra base hit, both teams combined. Murphy takes that count to 3-2. Hernandez already having thrown 22 pitches in this opening inning. Taken for a called third strike.
That's a big time curveball right there.
It is. That's it for the inning, but the Josh Hamilton 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run double as the Rangers on top.
$1,000 scholarship to college this week. She's one of 10 children, and neither of her parents could help her fill out applications or FAFSA or any of that. So,
well, there we go. Well, congratulations on that. Keep up the great work. And for more information, you see the number and web address on the screen. Appreciate it. Enjoy the game. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Jim. Jose Lopez, the batter. The Rangers up by 2. And Colby Lewis gets Jose Lopez to hit it in the air to center. Ball takes off a little bit. It is a windy night at the ballpark, and we don't really have a true sense, at least I don't yet, Tag, about exactly what the baseballs are going to do with the wind blowing the way it is.
No, I'm not good at predicting that either. I think you just have to watch how the ball carries early in the game and just kind of react to it. Tough to tell on that one. It was a hanging curveball, and Lopez is pretty strong to begin with. It looked like he hit it well, maybe not his best shot. Looked like it ended up about where you would have expected it to. Not sure the wind did anything on that one.
Mike Karp will take a strike. The Rangers off the field today, Tom, very busy. Selecting 29 more players. Day 2 of the first-year player draft in and around baseball. I guess the fun news to report is the fact that Steve Buechele's son was grabbed in the 18th round. Garrett Buechele, third baseman up at Oklahoma. If he signs, will be Rangers property. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. The other interesting one is the 30th round pick, Brian Regura. He went to Martin High School.
Yeah.
He's going to Stanford. And I think it was generally accepted that he was maybe a top 3 or 4 round kind of kid, but he slid to the 30th round because of signability. I don't know if the Rangers will be able to sign him or not, but interesting to pick a local kid, even if he does end up going to Stanford. You never know. Might change his mind.
A couple other Texans were chosen as well. Zachary Osborne, who's from Houston originally, going in the 9th round. That ball jerked foul by Karp. And out of Mejia, Mexia.
Mejia.
It is Mejia.
Yeah, because I've already said Mexia.
No, I know it's
about
not Mexia.
About 15 years ago, and that lit up our emails.
Yeah. Well, Trey Davis, and I hope I'm pronouncing Davis correctly, but out of Mejia High School, was taken in the 29th round. Those are the Ranger Texans at this point.
Rangers also drafted Kendall Radcliffe, his great uncle Ted Double Duty Radcliffe. What a nickname
for the old White Sox, I believe.
That's a great name.
And if you're looking for the next Ryan, well, two guys whose first names are Ryan were taken today. Ryan Rodabaugh in the 15th round, Ryan Strasburger in the 16th round. Not Strasburg, Strasburger. And that's the other storyline we'll be following tonight, by the way. The debut of Steven Strasburg in the big leagues is ongoing. And he's actually trailing right now, 2-1.
They gave up a 2-run homer, but he just struck out the side in the 6th inning. And he threw about 5 pitches in the 6th inning, 99 miles an hour.
Colby Lewis throws at 89 and finally strikes out Mike Park.
And in the 6th inning, Strasburg struck out 2 hitters with his changeup, which was 89 miles an hour.
He's got 11 strikeouts in 6 innings in his big league debut, Tom. And he's only thrown 81 pitches so far, so he'll keep on going.
Yeah, he's been sneaking a peek at the TV. I mean, it's pretty impressive watching that kid. Hasn't walked anybody.
Well, the benchmark, I guess, is Bob Feller, having struck out 15 in his first big league start. That was a long time ago. He's got a shot at that, 11 in 6 innings.
Well, if they left him in the whole game, he'd have a pretty good shot at it. I doubt they'll let him pitch more than 7.
He's working with Pudge Rodriguez, by the way.
There probably weren't many times the manager took Bob Feller out.
On a pitch count?
On a pitch count. So he was probably going 8 or 9 every time out.
Well, he's being broken in by a future Hall of Famer. Pudge is doing the catching in that game. 2-1 Pittsburgh, a Delwyn Young home run right after a double play is what's gotten Pittsburgh that lead. Josh Wilson fouls it. Poor Jeff Karstens for Pittsburgh, pitching a great game and nobody cares.
Josh Wilson is playing well. He's hit 362 in his last 19 games. It'd be interesting to see what happens when Jack Wilson comes back. He was the regular shortstop. This kid may have earned himself some extra playing time.
Hamilton streaking across the green out there will make that catch to end the inning. Love it when he's running full on like that. Colby Lewis out of the inning up 2-0. welcoming some fans to the ballpark tonight. And a reminder, folks, you can vote up to 25 times at TexasRangers.com to help send your favorite Ranger to the All-Star game. Elvis Andrus trying to make some gains. Vlad Guerrero's already pretty much locked in at DH, it looks like. Ian Kinsler's got some catching up to do. TexasRangers.com to get that done. Justin Smoke will take down an in. He is not on the All-Star ballot. Remember, he was in the minors to start the year. The Geico quote of the day. I'm talking about the possibility of the All-Star game. Get you back to that in a moment. Another month to go. That's a great way to look at it. Sure, he wants to be an All-Star. The Rangers are rocking the vote for him here, but boy, it's tough to unseat Jeter. Down and into Smoke.
Well, the Rangers made Hernandez really work in the first inning, and Smoke's making him work right off the bat here in the second inning. Laid off some close pitches, worked the walk. Nice job.
Well, Justin's got the batting average into the two teams now. It had bottomed out down around 160. And Chris Davis is still playing well down at AAA. He had a 4-for-4 game yesterday in Omaha. Now batting .329, but the Rangers seem very comfortable with what's going on with Smoke. There's another guy that started the year at AAA. Max Ramirez will be the batter now. With the runner going, and Max pokes it in the air to right. Ichiro moving. Will reach out near the line, make the catch. We talk so much about Ichiro and how stylish he is at the plate. He's, I think, very graceful in the field, too.
He's a very well-prepared outfielder. Fundamentally sound, has a routine, prepares himself physically, mentally. Looks the exact same right now as he did when he came into the big leagues. Probably the same as when he came into professional ball in Japan. He's 36 years old now, but has the body of a 25-year-old. He's got over 2,000 hits in the big leagues, well over 1,000 hits in Japan. And so you'd have to think he's got to play coming into the season. He's got to play probably 5 more years, including this year, of 200 hits to have 3,000 hits.
Bourbon is going to scoot one into right field. A base hit for him. Ichiro plays it back.
Well, one of the reasons the Ranger offense is showing a lot of promise is because of Smoke and Bourbon starting to gradually heat up and give the bottom of the order some presence. And Ramirez and Trainer have held their own and done a nice job in that, especially with the home run ball. Now the 7, 8, and 9 guys are starting to contribute. That gives the Rangers a lot more options to score. You don't have to worry about that extra inning until the first hitter comes up. 7, 8, 9 are taking care of themselves now.
Yeah, and that is a very welcome change. It was a much maligned 7, 8, 9, and the stats were there to back that up regarding the maligning. But over the last week and a half, things are really picking up. Top of the order has been just fine all year, thanks to this guy, Elvis Andrews. Had the base hit and a run scored last inning. Hit streak now at 13 for Elvis. You check your forward leaderboard. We mentioned Vernon Wells as the only longer active streak right now. And tonight, Toronto's at Tampa Bay. By the way, Mr. Strasburg has himself the lead now. Washington has just overtaken the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-2. And the most hyped game of the night by far. Bob Costas is there to call the game. And in Washington, they're calling the event Strasmus. Slowly hit towards short. Josh Wilson goes to second for one, and that's it. They have been waiting for this event for a long time in D.C. The 21-year-old Steven Strasburg, and again through 6 innings, 11 strikeouts. retire the first 5 he faced tonight.
For Washington, if they signed Bryce Harper, will have been back-to-back years signed kids that rank among the top at their position in the history of the draft. A lot of people think Strasburg, maybe Mark Pryor, best pitcher to ever come into the draft. And even though you're talking about guys like Griffey and A-Rod, scouts that have seen all of them say that Bryce Harper ranks right up there with all of them too. So you get a high school hitter and a college pitcher among the best to ever come into the draft. That's a pretty good start for your ball club as you try to become a contender.
Yeah, what if they had been picking back-to-back in 02 and 03 and they get Brian Bullington and Delman Young? There's not as much fervor for that, to have the 2 #1 picks in a row. But you're right, 2 that they say once in a generation kind of talents at both pitcher and catcher.
Well, you don't want to be picking #1, but if you are, you hope there's that kind of talent there.
Young slowly hit to short. A 6-4 fielder's choice, and the Rangers do not score. They have the lead, though. It's 2-0 tonight at the end of 2. Talking about this guy starting the All-Star game in Anaheim. Colby so far against the Mariners in 3 different starts, 18 innings. He's allowed 8 hits. Rob Johnson could be the next victim. He takes a strike. Seattle's got 2 catchers on the DL. Johnson getting plenty of playing time because of that. They also had Kenji Jojima go back to Japan just as Colby Lewis comes back in from Japan. Ooh, just missed. Now they'll see if he went. No, says Mark Carlson. Colby tonight and C.J. Wilson tomorrow for the Rangers. On the ground is short. Whoa, high throw. And that just came out of nowhere. That is the easiest play that Elvis, in theory, will make all year. It just sailed on him. And Johnson opens the inning by getting on. It's an E6.
Yeah, you've got a routine ball, a slow runner, and plenty of time. Just sailed on him.
Well, I guess the irony of that is Ron Washington gave Elvis a day off yesterday, just trying to keep him fresh, giving him a mental day off. And That is the careless error after the day off.
If Saunders hits the next pitch to second base and they turn a double play, it won't matter.
Ball 1 to Saunders. Seattle 23-34. They are bringing up the rear in the AL West. The Rangers actually have the fewest losses in the West at 27. But again, because they've played 3 fewer games than the Angels. Even though the Angels have 28 losses, the Rangers have 27. The Rangers are a half game out. Angels have won 9 out of 10. Taken, there's the strike. Nobody else in the American League has even a 2-game win streak right now, but the Angels are at +6. First time the Rangers are behind the Halos in the standings since April. Down and in. It's gone all the way full here to Saunders after the error to open the inning. Runner goes. That is taken outside. Ball 4. So suddenly the Mariners from the bottom of the order looking to get something done. And Sean Figgins, astonished to find himself batting 9th. Coming up now, Figgins had a 3-hit night last night, the first time he was batting 9th.
Kobe let that bat get away from him. He had Saunders 1 ball and 2 strikes and ended up walking him. And it's not your traditional 9th place hitter. Figgins in his last 19 games is hitting .333. So he's swinging the bat the way they expected him to. So instead of a traditional 9th place hitter, you've got a leadoff hitter hitting right now with Ichiro coming up next.
Yeah, as it turns out, the Mariners do have Figgins, then Ichiro, but it's just at 9-1 and not 1-2. He seemed to be an ideal fit for the Mariners, Figgins. Last year, the Mariners had the worst on-base percentage in the entire AL, and that's with Ichiro. They picked up the guy who was 2nd in the league in reaching base in 09. He had 101 walks last year. Tom, his previous career high was 65. Runners are both going, and they're going to have a big problem down there at second base.
Just run right to second and tag one of them.
Johnson is, who they tag.
I have no idea what was going on there.
Max Ramirez came up firing to third, and Johnson jamming on the brakes and trying to go back to second base. That wasn't going to work because Saunders was already on his way there.
You got Figgins way ahead in the count. Kobe's struggling to throw strikes. There's nobody out.
With Figgins and Ichiro coming up.
That's one where all you can say is thank you very much.
Well, that had the makings of a big inning for Seattle. Figgins has to do something now to keep it hot. Maybe emboldened by what just happened, Lewis pours in a strike. Makes it 3-1. Yeah, that's a weird one. I mean, unless
I think if they had the hit and run on, they're just anticipating that Kobe was going to throw a strike and Figgins was going to be able to hit it. But if it's a hit and run, you got to swing at it. It wasn't that far out of the strike zone. Somebody had to miss a sign. It couldn't have been a straight steal for the catcher at second base.
Remember, the Mariners have just flip-flopped their base coaches. Lee Tinsley now at third and Mike Brumley at first. This is only the second game they've had that dynamic in play. And just in terms of pure communication, you wonder if something went awry from dugout to coach to player.
If you make the assumption it wasn't a double steal, and there's no way it was, then it had to be a hit and run. And Figgins didn't swing at it. So either the guys on the bases thought it was a hit and run and Figgins missed it, or it wasn't a hit and run and both guys on the bases thought it was. Other than that, I really don't know what could have happened. Whatever, the Rangers are fortunate to have one out this inning.
Ichiro showing bunt, maybe just to draw Michael Young in a little bit. Take you back to what we're talking about.
And both guys are running, and Figgins is taken all the way. It wasn't a pitch that was so far out of the strike zone that he couldn't swing at it. If it was a hit and run, and he knew it, he could have swung at it. Kobe just really is all over the place now. After the error on Johnson, he walked Saunders, he's walked Figgins, and he's down 2-0 to Ichiro.
And Ichiro, as he usually is, very strong with runners in scoring position. He was parking him in batting practice. He's not known for power displays. He's bunting here. He's kind of throwing his bat at the ball. He's been around long enough now to have achieved 255 hits against the Rangers. Yaz has the most. That's against the Washington/Texas situation. Hall of Famers right there. Ichiro slowly hit to second. And because of who's running, you know you're only going to get one out. The decision is exactly where to throw it. Second base or first base. Milton Bradley comes up now, 2 down.
You could risk it and try to get Figgins at second base, but if you misfire just a little bit, Figgins is going to beat it, and now you've got the bases loaded and 1 out. A good pitch by Kobe, looked like a cutter that just kept coming in on Ichiro, jammed him, and rather than risk that throw to second, I think he did the right thing. Make sure you get 1.
To first base, and Colby Lewis will help Elvis Andrews feel better about everything. That error doesn't lead to a run. The Rangers lead Seattle 2-0. Leading 2-0, and Ian Kinsler begins things in the bottom of the third against Felix Fernandez. Fernandez, a guy much hyped when he came to the big leagues, of course, at a very young age. And on that subject, we'll keep you current on what's happening in Washington, D.C. tonight. It's really pretty amazing, actually. Steven Strasburg is not disappointed. 7 innings in the books, no walks, and 14 strikeouts. They've got to be losing their minds in the nation's capital right now as Kinsler flies to right. He has struck out everybody in the Pittsburgh order at least once, and 5 players twice. Only 94 pitches. And I know he's supposed to be handled carefully and all that, Tag, but with the average ticket price being $103 for that game in D.C., do you reward those ticket buyers and send them back out?
You know what I tell those ticket buyers? With all due respect, you've already been rewarded. You've seen 7 innings of masterful pitching, and you want to see that kid for the next 15 years. I'm not tossing him out there for another inning.
94 pitches?
No,
not
that's
one
it.
more?
That's it. Yep. 22 years old. I think he's done enough. Pumped up probably as much as he's ever been pumped up for a game. Maximum effort out there on every pitch. I wouldn't push it. We'll see what I don't think they've decided what they're going to do yet. We'll see what they decide to do, but I'd say nice job, kid.
Well, again, we mentioned Bob Feller struck out 15 famously in his debut at a more tender age than that.
Do you know if that was a 9-inning game? I'm assuming it was.
Yeah, I think that was a complete game. Yeah.
Well, this kid, I don't know what he was throwing in the 7th inning, but he threw several pitches 99 miles an hour in the 6th inning.
By the way, how did Vlad even hit that ball? It's amazing. When you've got Vlad Guerrero and Ichiro in the same game, you see foul balls that you're never going to see in any other game.
Pretty much.
Slowly towards short. That is out number 2. We go to Jim Knox. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, we have some interesting characters right here. All the President's Men, I guess, on hand. What's this all about?
Well, the Rangers are just so important. We thought presidential support is needed for when the Rangers go to the playoffs and win the World Series.
Where are you guys really from?
We're from Hurst, Texas. We go to Elby Bell High School.
Oh, there we go. Okay, now nice polyester suits. A little warm tonight for you?
Oh, yeah, it's hot.
It's hot. Okay, good. You got a little victory dance for the Rangers, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's see what we got. Ready? 1, 2. President Bush counting it down. Very nice. Very nice. Way to go.
That's funny.
All right, Cheney, good seeing you, buddy. All right.
A little bummed they didn't have William Howard Taft in there, but other than that, that's pretty good. All right, presidents, we'll see you in a bit. We're going to break. It's 2-0 Rangers. A Josh Hamilton 2-run double in the first has the Rangers on top, and Colby Lewis kind of bobbing and weaving out of trouble in that third inning, still up 2-0.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a control lapse there for a couple of hitters, but came right back and got Ichiro and Milton Bradley to get out of the inning. Good job of pitching out of a jam.
Three, 4, 5 in the order for Seattle here. We mentioned yesterday the Mariners on a really geographically crazy road trip. Arlington, then out to San Diego, back to St. Louis, and then home. Past the glove of Colby Lewis into center field, the base hit for Gutierrez. And the first hit all night for these Seattle Mariners. And baseball fans, Chevy is a proud sponsor of youth baseball programs throughout the state of Texas. If you'd like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to youth league baseball, just go to ChevyTexasBaseball.com. The state of Texas well represented in the draft on day 2 today, just from here in the Metroplex. Boy, Flower Mound had a couple of guys go. Austin Henderson, 20th round of the Dodgers. Zach Adams, 15th round for the Blue Jays. Brandon Mims out of Carrollton, a Toronto draft pick. And the righty, the pitcher from Colleyville Heritage, Austin Kubica, 7th round by the Pirates. He's committed to Rice. Lopez taking down and outside. Three local high schoolers among the first 40 picks in the country back to yesterday. Matt Lipka of McKinney to Atlanta. Zach Lee of McKinney to the Dodgers. And, of course, Michael Choice, number 10 overall out of UTA and Mansfield Timberview. I think a lot of people obviously were hoping he might drop to 15 so the Rangers could grab him, but the A's stepped in there and took him at number 10.
And the way he played this year, I think the A's were probably feeling fortunate that he was there when they picked with number 10.
Inside to Lopez, and again, Colby, last couple innings, has not been getting ahead like he was in the first 2. And he is high with it here. 2 on and nobody out.
He's struggling right now, no doubt about it. His pitches aren't quite as sharp as they were earlier in the game.
Seattle's been challenged to score runs. Of course, Ken Griffey Jr. has retired. Mike Sweeney's on the DL now. Jack Wilson's on the DL. And because of Sweeney going on the DL, this guy gets a chance. Mike Karp had 10 home runs down at AAA Tacoma. That's a very convenient AAA Major League situation that Seattle's got. Seattle and Tacoma only about 35 minutes apart from each other. Boy, and Colby again falling behind.
Yeah, when you've got a team that's challenged offensively, the very worst thing you can do is walk guys, make them hit. And that's what he's trying to do. He's just having a hard time commanding his pitch right now.
Josh Wilson on deck right now. It's Carp. Can I do a little salute to Norm Hitzges real quick?
Sure.
Wouldn't it be nice if Carp played for the Marlins? Or not really?
Yeah, it'd be fine.
That's my salute to Norm.
Okay.
High fly ball to center. Tom still dazzled by that last line. It's out number 1 in the inning. And Josh Wilson coming up. We'll check some other scores as we go tonight. I don't want everybody to think it's all this one and the Washington Nationals all the time, although it kind of is. Strasburg is out now, Tag, is that right?
Strasburg is out after 7 with a 4-2 lead.
No walks and 14 strikeouts in his debut.
Yep. I think most of us felt like no matter what he did today, he couldn't live up to the hype. But we were wrong. He did live up to the hype and more.
You always think, at least in this area, about that summer of 1973. I wasn't here, but you sure were, to watch the David Clyde debut, and that's, I guess, a good example of one that was mostly hype.
I would say the feeling was probably the exact same in Washington as it was in Arlington for David's first start. You have to remember, David was 17 years old coming out of high school. Strasburg is, I guess, 22 years old with 3 years of college and 50 or 60 innings of minor league ball under his belt. So he's a little bit further along the development chain than David was.
Good off-speed pitch right there to Wilson.
David gave up a few runs early, but I think he pitched 5 or 6 innings. And for a high school kid, I'd have to say when that game was over, he'd lived up to the hype as well.
Facing some pretty good Minnesota Twins in that lineup.
For sure.
This is not to disparage the Pirates, but it's not a bad way to dip your toe in the big league water right there. A home game against the Pirates.
And I'm sure that probably played into their plan, too. They won't say that. They can't.
No.
You have to think that that was well planned out when he got his first start.
You and I can say that, though, right? I mean,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just is what it is.
It is what it is. It'll be interesting to see how the crowd responds to Strasburg as far as attendance goes in his subsequent starts. You have to think it's going to be a big boost every time he pitches at home, and probably on the road for that matter.
Fox has picked up the Washington against Chicago White Sox game this weekend because it's Strasburg's next game.
If I were trying to pick when I was going to go watch my home team play, I'd probably center around a Strasburg start just to see it.
And no, the Rangers do not play the Nationals this year.
How many does that ballpark hold in Washington?
About 40. Towards second base, Andrews, tippy toe, and no, then he drops it. Safe the tag.
Now he tagged him, I think.
Well, hang on,
he tagged him. He was going to call him safe until he tagged him, wasn't he?
I'm confused. They are calling him out at second base. That's Larry Vanover. I thought it was just on the transfer. I
don't think he ever transferred it. Let's take another look. I thought he called him safe on the tag and then out on the tag in the base right here.
Should be out there.
Safe
out.
Now out.
You're right.
Yeah. He was not going to give him the tag of the base, because he said he never had control of the ball. But then he picked the ball up in time to tag him. That's a strange play. Should have been a double play out of the inning.
So technically that play goes 6-6 in your scorebook then, right?
I think it just goes just 6 unassisted. He was never out at second, so.
Oh, I guess that's right, yeah.
It's like he never touched the bag, but Elvis gets tangled up a little bit there. Otherwise, he had a pretty easy shot at the double play.
Did a nice job scooping the ball up off the dirt. First and third now, 2 out. Remember, the Mariners had first and second, nobody out last inning and this inning. Got a chance to not score at all. I thought he had the bag anyway right there.
He had the bag. He didn't have the ball, though, according to the second base umpire. At least I'm assuming that's what he called.
Perhaps we'll never know.
Rangers had some strange outs the last couple of innings. Got an out on the bases in the third inning. Tag play this inning could have been a double play. And now it's
boy,
going to be a
oh
run.
boy. Rob Johnson to make it 2-1. That's a guy hitting 177.
Well, he's a big league player, and he's still a potential threat up there to get a base hit. And when you walk guys and don't convert defensively, that's kind of what you're asking for.
Well, Colby had no hits allowed into this fourth inning. They gave up that little grounder just past his glove to open things here in the fourth to Gutierrez.
Big thing you want to do right here is stop the damage, though. Don't let it become a big inning. Give up the one, okay. Still have a one-run lead. Get back in the dugout. Let the hitters go at it. Don't turn it into a big inning. I'm sure that's what Mike's trying to do right here. Settle Colby down. For that very reason.
Michael Saunders, a 3-run homer yesterday. Will bat with a couple men on right here. Sean Figgins on deck. Squibbed foul down near third. The Orioles, Tom, are trailing the Yankees 6-3 in the sixth inning. That's Kevin Millwood looking for his first win of the year. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen tonight. He's out of the game trailing 6-3 in the sixth. Swisher and Granderson have home runs for New York. If the Orioles don't rally, they'd be 16-42. It's hard to believe that Millwood, with a pretty decent ERA, could be 0-7. There's strike two to Saunders. Colby Lewis trying to keep it 2-1 here in the top of the fourth. Trying to become the first Rangers starter to win 5 games here in 2010. Right now, he just can't get together with Ramirez on a pitch selection. Down and in. Got the Rays blasting the Jays tonight, 8-0 in the sixth. A pair of home runs for Carlos Pena. He got started right here just the other day.
Another big game for Jeff Neiman.
One hitter so far.
Pretty good chance of pitching in the All-Star game this year.
Tigers and White Sox scoreless into the fourth. The Twins lead the Royals 3-0 in the fourth. The Angels are at the A's tonight, trying to make it 7 straight. Jared Weaver, who is 5-2 with an ERA of 2.7, looking pretty All-Star-esque.
How many hits have the White Sox got tonight?
They have 2 at the end of 3. Is that good?
Well, Armando Galarraga's pitching for
that's
the
right.
Tigers. I'm just checking.
Off the end of the bat from Saunders. Up into the twilight. And Bourbon is going to make the catch. That will do it with the 1-run in. It's a 2-1 score. Bottom of the fourth coming up. Time for the Haynes Comfortable Moment. We take you live to the Haynes Comfort Zone. Showing only comfortable people for the next several seconds.
They're all eating French fries.
Well,
must be comfortable people eating comfort food.
It aids with the comfort, the fries. Rangers 2, Seattle 1. And a one-run game. That's not a surprise for either team, I guess. These are the top two teams in baseball regarding one-run games. 30 apiece. Difference is the Rangers have won most of theirs. The Mariners have not. And you were kind of on that one last year, Tom, going into this year. Seattle was huge in one-run games last year on the plus side. They were 35-20. And a lot of times what you see, and you called this early in spring training, is it just kind of has to even out the following year.
Yeah, if one-run games were strictly based on the talent of the team, the best teams would lead the league in one-run wins every year, and that's just not the case. There's an element of luck that a sabermetrician could explain a lot better than I could, involved in one-run decisions. And it doesn't usually carry over from year to year.
The AT&T trivia question: the only two players to be drafted 10th round or later and then be elected to the Hall of Fame. One of them just might be in the ballpark tonight. Smoke with a foul back this way.
Well, the Mariners aren't off to a good start this year, but their starting pitching has been pretty solid. They've had 27 starts where their starting pitcher has gone at least 7 innings in the ball game. That's tied for first in the major leagues. They've had 12 starts where the starter's gone at least 8 innings. If you watch Cliff Lee and you watch Felix Fernandez, you see two of the main reasons why.
Strike taken. It's 1-2. Ian Snell will get to start tomorrow. I mean, it's such a tough act to follow when you're talking about Lee then Hernandez. And for a while with Doug Fister, I mean, he had a better ERA than Lee and Hernandez. But with Fister hurt now, Snell follows. Snell is 0-4. And he can bring it. I mean, he's got a lot of talent, but he is not Lee and he is not Hernandez. Not yet, anyway.
Two walks for Justin.
Boy, and that's what he was doing so much of when he first came up. Nice to see him revert to that. The confidence to take what he doesn't want to be swinging at. Over in the National League, that Nationals game is still 4-2 in the 8th, by the way. Strasburg having gotten 7. Phillies lead the Marlins 7-6. The Phillies really need to get the offense jumping, and it is tonight. Shane Victorino and Ryan Howard have home runs. Phillies trying to catch the Braves, who are still in first place by 2. They're on a long road trip right now. Rip and a miss by Max Ramirez. You got the Giants leading the Reds 1-0 in the 7th inning. The Giants are to within 2.5 in the West. The Reds still tied for first in the Central, which has been a nice story. Max Ramirez gone again. 93-mile-an-hour heat to finish him.
Yeah, Hernandez can strike you out in a lot of different ways. That's one way, just rearing back with his best fastball. Saw another way early in the game against Guerrero, second and third, 1 out when he went to his hard curveball. what makes him tough. Good assortment of well above average pitches.
Cubs and Brewers are scoreless in the 4th tonight. We're going to see the Milwaukee Brewers this weekend in Milwaukee. The Rangers haven't been to Milwaukee in a long time. It'll be their first trip to Miller Park, as a matter of fact.
We were there in either 95 or 96, I think. We were there early in the season one of those years because it was freezing. We got frozen out of it. We got frozen out of a game one time. It was down in the upper 20s, maybe low 30s.
Of course, they used to be in the American League, and the Rangers and Brewers would go head-to-head quite often. We saw the Brewers come through here in 2007, but this will be the first trip to Miller Park. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You probably don't miss Old County Stadium that much, do you?
No, but I have a soft spot for all the old ballparks. I love the tradition of the old parks. My favorite parks are Fenway, Wrigley Field. Hated to see old Tiger Stadium come down. Didn't really like old Comiskey that much. That was not a great park.
Bourbon waves and misses down. He goes. Felix Fernandez starting to get it right. Rangers don't have a hit since the 2nd inning and will now play the 5th. It is 2-1. Get in there as well.
Well, I've been there.
That's the voice of Mark McLemore, ladies and gentlemen. And yes,
that counts.
That counts.
Did you have to pay to get in?
Absolutely.
Well, Figgins grounds out on the first pitch of the inning, and here is Mark McLemore. By the way, the draft is always exciting, and we talked about it quite a bit yesterday. This second day, it just comes in waves and waves and waves, and it's tough to keep up.
It really is. You just there are so many guys, and it goes a lot faster than that first day. And there's been so much hype surrounding that first day. The number 1 overall pick, and then the rest of the first round. So that second day, there are a lot of quality players that get drafted after the first round, and it's very, very hectic.
I got my handy dandy draft almanac out here. I'm going to find you in it. What year were you?
1982.
Oh, 82. I was looking at 97. That's why I was way off. All right, let's go here. You guys watch the game.
You remember any of the kids that came into professional baseball in your organization out of that same draft?
Absolutely. Bob Kipper, left-hand pitcher. He was our number 1 pick.
Was he?
I got him right here out of Aurora, Illinois.
I believe Kirk McCaskill was in that draft.
You are correct, sir, out of Vermont.
Urbano Lugo.
No. According to this,
he might have been a free agent signing.
Yeah.
No, Kirk was drafted by the Angels.
Okay.
He was a draft pick by the Angels.
Lugo.
Maybe not. Oh, Lugo. No, Lugo was a draft pick as well.
Was he?
Yes.
Ninth round pick by the Angels that year was a shortstop from Morse High School in San Diego by the name of Mark McLemore.
Wow. Those were the days.
Those were the days. Ichiro fouls it right off of Max Ramirez. That's the year that Sean Dunston was taken #1 overall. That was the shortstop everybody talked about. And then Spike Owen out of Texas to these Mariners was one of the top shortstops. Augie Schmidt went to the Blue Jays. I think, yeah, he was the #2 pick that year after Dunston. 2 shortstops in a row. Taken, and there goes Ichiro down on strikes. Colby got him. The guy that used to pitch in Japan for just a little against a guy that played in Japan for quite a while, and Colby gets Ichiro. By the way, you think the Blue Jays, if they had to do it over again, would have taken Doc Gooden instead of Augie Schmidt?
I'm not quite sure. What do you think today?
I can remember seeing Doc Gooden pitch for Hillsborough High School, as a matter of fact. And he also played third base. He was a pretty good prospect as a hitter, as a third baseman when he wasn't pitching. Obviously, he was pretty dominating at the high school level. I'm trying to think of his coach's name. Bobby Reed, maybe, was the famous coach at Hillsborough High for a long time.
Well, in '82, the Rangers, we talked about this yesterday, Tom. That's the year that Mike Rubel was taken with the first pick in the second round. But that's also the year that you guys grabbed Steve Buechele out of Stanford.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about both of those kids is Tulsa was our AA team. There were 2 halves. In the first half, they came in last place. And then we brought Mike Rubel and Steve Buechele right out of the draft to AA and moved 2 middle infielders from A-ball up to AA, Curtis Wilkerson and a kid named Greg Tabor. And with that influx of 4 position players, they won the second half and I think won the playoffs that year. But both Boo and Mike Rubel went right straight out of college up to AA.
Colby Lewis has got it back now. He strikes out Milton Bradley. Former 9th round pick of the Angels, Mark McLemore, our guest. And we'll see him on Rangers Live after the ball game. Thank you, buddy.
You got it.
Good to see you. All right.
Mac, easy on the hand.
Fireworks set to Michael Jackson music. Saturday, the first 20,000 fans 14 and older get a Fiesta chips and dip platter. And Sunday, Los Tigres del Norte play a pregame concert at 5, followed by the Rangers and Astros at 7. Reckless Kelly plays on Saturday, by the way. That's the concert. 972 Rangers or TexasRangers.com. Two ways to get your tickets.
How about Independent George? When's your next gig?
You know, we have not been hired out yet by the big stage here at the Rangers ballpark.
I can't believe that.
Although we are playing Sherlock's right down the street.
All right.
After, wait a minute, you know what? That weekend, Friday the 25th. So
there'll be a lot of competition for the entertainment dollar.
There's actually 3 concerts that weekend, including noted South Lake, Texas band Independent George at Sherlock's after the game on Friday. Andrews grounding
a lot of choices for the people.
What's the big show coming to town? Actually, the guys have rehearsal right now and blowing it off to watch Felix Fernandez face Michael Young. And
they're rehearsing right now?
Wouldn't have it any other way. Yeah, they're working up some new stuff. Actually, some old stuff, but it's new to us. Guys, we're talking about.
Will you be left out of the new stuff, or you just have to pick it up on your own?
I'll just pick it up on the fly, and I'll miss the first set because, you know, we got a game.
That's right.
We'll jump on stage for the second set, and third and fourth. Michael Young takes down and outside.
You could bring your keyboard up here and practice between innings for it.
How about in-game?
Entertain those of us up here in the booth.
How about as the Rangers bat, just kind of, you know, just noodle around a little bit. Guys are talking about wearing eye makeup this time, like Green Day. I don't think I'll be doing that. Over to third, big hop. And Michael Young is out, 2 down. Can't imagine the Ramones ever did that, so.
Eye makeup?
Eye makeup.
I don't know. Never had the pleasure of going to a Ramones concert. Except to know them a little later on in life.
You just star in their videos. Kinsler now 0 for 2. And trying to reverse a trend here. He is 10 for his last 59. Rangers got their 2 runs back in the first. The Josh Hamilton 2-out, 2-strike double. The last Ranger hit was Julio Bourbon with 1 out in the second. Only 1 base runner since then. Hernandez has set down 10 of 11. In the meantime, Tag, good to see Colby Lewis after a rocky third and a rocky fourth have a nice quick fifth.
Yeah, that's the best he's thrown the whole game, and it came in the last inning. That was nice to see, striking out Ichiro and Milton Bradley. Struggled there for a couple of innings with his command, but boy, he got it back in the fifth. That was nice.
Kinsler trying to check.
Had it going since the first inning. Threw that fastball to Josh Hamilton that he ripped into left field for 2 runs, and since then they've only had the 1 single to right field by Bourbon.
Boy, that is a tough pitch.
That's a 2-seam fastball that just sunk right out of the strike zone.
Kinsler now 0 for 3. Felix Fernandez clicking in the gear. It stays 2-1. the presidents are impressed, and vice presidents, and whatever else they got working over there. You like that a lot.
I just like the expression when they look at when one of them looks at the other. The expression makes it look real.
Well, but
Cheney needs it. Oh, never mind.
Yes. Political humor is always smiled upon.
I'm not
on
a
this
politician.
show.
I better keep my mouth shut. I'll offend somebody.
You just quietly eat your yogurt over there. You'll be fine. Lewis, the 0-1 pitch to Gutierrez. That breaks down too low. Three, 4, 5 in this Seattle order. That ball pegged in a left. A base hit for Gutierrez. He's now 2 for 3. And the tying man is on here in the 6th. Pitch count in the 90s for Lewis. And the last 2 Ranger pitchers, Harden and Feldman, both were at 111 pitches through 5. So for Colby to be at around 90 through 5 tonight, that was certainly a welcome change. Feldman ended up throwing 120 in 5 2/3 yesterday. We're told that's the first time in 10 years a Ranger pitcher has thrown that many pitches without getting 6 innings in the books.
Well, Ron was trying to get that 6 innings in the book. Couldn't quite get there. Matt Harrison came on, did a nice job, though. 3 1/3. Low pitch count. Looked real good.
Lopez is a double play candidate. He just makes a lot of contact. Doesn't walk that much, doesn't strike out that much. Chip towards the crowd. Pretty nice Tuesday night crowd tonight. Rangers had a bit more than 20,000 on a Monday night last night. Good crowd expected for the $1 hot dog night tomorrow. TexasRangers.com to get your tickets. C.J. Wilson will be on the mound. C.J. used to compete against Colby Lewis in college. Hit too slowly to turn 2. The runner was in motion. And Lopez moving that tying man to second base. More on C.J. Wilson in just a moment. First, we say hello to Emily Jones.
Hey guys, no presidents here, just me, reminding you to check out FoxSportsSouthwest.com. There you can find all the latest from Cowboys OTAs and also the latest on the first-year player entry. Major League Baseball early entry draft, player draft.
Sure, yeah, all that's good.
You know what I'm talking about. We've been talking about it for the last 2 days. You can find it all on the website.
You got it. Thank you, Em. Mike Carp to the plate. Will take on the inside corner. So anyway, C.J. Wilson says he's got a homer off of Colby Lewis in a junior college game, also a double. And watching C.J. take batting practice today, you can see that C.J. can square it up a little bit.
Well, we'll see how he does against big league pitching. Be a good challenge for him.
Looks like he would be online to be swinging against the Marlins. Kenny Rogers did that a few years ago, had himself a triple down in Miami.
Unfortunately, he ran himself right out of the game, though, with that triple.
High fly ball, Bourbon back.
It was about 100 degrees and humid in Miami. Kenny sprinted for the triple and was out of gas.
Humid in Miami? Is that possible?
It was quite humid.
Oh.
Yes, it was. I know Darren Oliver's a good hitter. We probably won't see Darren as a hitter, though, as a late inning bullpen guy. But if he does get a chance to hit, he's a good hitter. He looks like a hitter, too.
Tying man at third now, and Josh Wilson, who's been one of their hottest hitters the last 3 weeks. Jack Wilson on the DL and is getting close to returning, but boy, that suddenly presents problems, because how do you sit down Josh Wilson?
Yeah, exactly. All the kid's done is hit 362 the last 3 weeks.
Elvis Andrews has to make this play, and he will. What a throw by Elvis Andrews to keep it 2-1.
We got a run on the line, a tough play, and he made it.
He had an error earlier on a very routine play. This throw's impossible, and he makes it.
He made that play. Man on third base and 2 outs. All the fans are watching that play going, oh no, if he doesn't make it, it's a run and the game's tied, and he made it. A little help from Justin Smoke with a nice stretch at first base.
Vladdy held in check tonight at 0 for 2. And he had a thought about swinging at that, even though it bounced. Four, 5, 6 in the Ranger batting order in the bottom of the 6th inning. Vlad with a bouncing ball to third. Lopez will guide it across for the out. Vlad has hit safely in 71 of 81 games that he's ever played in this ballpark, so the odds are squarely in his favor that at some point tonight he'll get on base.
He actually had a pretty good pitch to hit right there. It was a curveball that stayed up. Certainly good by his standards. Not that he needs a good pitch to hit to be successful, but he had one right there.
Hamilton out in front. He drove in the 2 Ranger runs with a double in the first. All right, so that game in Washington has gone final tag. The Nationals 5, the Pirates 2. And Steven Strasburg striking out the last 7 batters that he faced to finish with 14 in 7 innings. That is absolutely living up to the hype.
That's one of those
that
games.
Hit him.
One of those games where there'll be 400,000 people saying, I saw Strasburg's debut.
Yep. They got Josh just barely in the foot there, and the Rangers get a base runner. Those have been so tough to come by of late.
Yeah, hit him right on the right toe. Right side of his right foot.
And it bounced up, almost got him in the cheek. Got him in the arm, actually.
Got him in the arm, too.
Didn't feel the double play depth, and Murphy will take outside. I mentioned the Rangers hitting the road. They've got Milwaukee. They've got the Florida Marlins and the Houston Astros on a long road trip. We are going short sleeves in Miami and Houston, right?
Yeah, that'd probably be a pretty good call.
A lot of room in right center here for Murphy. And he hits it towards center, a base hit. Hamilton hesitating, then going to third. Runners at the corners and just one out. The first Rangers hit since the second inning.
Nice job of hitting by David Murphy. Pitched low and away. First and third. Justin Smoke up there has been very patient today. He's worked a couple of walks, but another one of those man on third, less than 2 out situations in a close game where you really want to pick up the run.
Justin Smoke, for whom patience has been a virtue tonight. A couple of walks. Even a little fly ball to the outfield here. You have a good shot to make it a 3-1 lead for the Rangers. Got guys that can throw out there, though. That ball travels into the crowd off the bat of Justin.
And now you're in a tough spot. You got to really bear down here with Fernandez. He's gotten ahead of you. And what he did to Guerrero in a similar situation in the first inning, he went to his breaking ball for the strikeout, trying to get you to swing it one down and a little bit out of the strike zone. See if Justin can handle that.
Yeah, he can handle that. Wow. Drills it into right. It'll be first and third again, and the Rangers lead 3-1.
I'm not too sure where that pitch came from. He had no balls and 2 strikes. He fouled off a fastball, and he absolutely ripped that 0-2 fastball. That was a bullet into right field. He's trying to throw it down and away. Didn't miss by that much. But that's way too good of a pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. When you've got a man on third base, less than 2 outs in a close game, you just can't give a guy that kind of a pitch. And boy, just to make him pay for it. If he got that ball up in the air, that would have left the park in a hurry.
95-mile-an-hour fastball, and he just ripped it.
Justin's had an excellent game against one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's walked twice and now has an RBI single.
Rangers had been 0 for their last 12. They're now 2 for their last 2.
Justin's had quality at bats all season long, and now he's starting to get some results. It's one thing to have quality at bats when you're struggling to get your hits, but now the hits are starting to come. And the bats remain quality at bats.
One and 2 to Ramirez. And just looking for some contact here. Trying to get that run home from third.
Yeah, you want to pick him up. Man on third base and less than 2 outs.
Meantime, Colby Lewis, now having thrown 22 innings this year against the Mariners, Tom, has allowed 2 runs. And only 2 extra base hits in those 22 innings.
Well, he's really battling today. He's had to pitch out of some jams, and he's done it. In fact, he's done that all year. He's really pitched well when he's had to pitch out of jams.
Count goes to 3-2. Bourbon on deck in this, the Sonic Slam inning. Felix, you got to throw a pitch at some point here. He throws it down too low. Bourbone's coming up with the bases loaded.
Good job right there by Max. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Worked the walk. Behind in the count to Hernandez is not an easy position to be in, but both of the guys, Smoke and Ramirez, 0-2, 1-2. RBI single and a walk. Loads the bases.
Rick-Adair to the mound. One-time Rangers minor league pitching coordinator. Giving Hernandez a breather. No action yet in the Seattle bullpen. We should note that Seattle bullpen has been wielding the acetylene torch of late. Last 9 games, their ERA is in the 10s. And a quick reminder, Chevy, a proud sponsor of youth baseball programs. If you'd like to learn more, ChevyTexasBaseball.com.
We're going to make an adjustment here. Figgins is playing in, and Wilson's playing back. Now Wilson's going to come in. They don't like it playing back. They're going to figure out it's going to be too hard to double up Bourbon. They don't want to give another run, so they're going to play the infield in and come home with the ball. Make some contact, got a good chance.
That ball swept foul. Hernandez, I'm sure, knowing he's got to keep the ball down. John White getting ready for Seattle. No action in the Ranger bullpen. The Mariners intent on trying to keep this thing 3-1. That's why they've got the infield in. Well, we've seen Smoke be an 0-2 hitter this inning. Time for another youngster to follow form. That's tight. Got 2 guys who have home run potential, neither of whom has hit a home run yet this year. About to bat. Bourbon now and Andrus next. Slowly hit to first, and Karp is coming home. He gets that lead man, which will leave the inning to Elvis Andrews. Elvis is the best in the league with runners in scoring position. He will bat with the bases loaded.
Now you made some contact. You put the ball in play, and you got a shot when you do that. Last 3 hitters have been down in the count.
Inside, Michael Young on deck. Elvis Andrus comes through into left center field to chase home 2.
Bottom of the order, and the young guys are coming through right there. Elvis and Smoke, 2 big hits. Break the game open a little bit against one of the best pitchers in baseball. They really battled him this inning. They got his pitch count up there to 100 pitches, and they've hit the ball hard. Smoke, a line shot, and now Elvis, a line shot to pick up 2 more runs. Big 2-out hits in this game. Hamilton and Andrus, both for a couple of RBIs.
Elvis building with another 2-hit performance in this game. Got a 13-game hitting streak now, an overall batting average of around .310. We'll see if Michael Young can just put this thing away right now. 3 times the Rangers have had to face the great Felix Fernandez already this year, Tag, and he is not in a position to win any of the 3 games.
I think they faced him 5 or 6 times last year. Yeah, I don't think they missed him at all last year.
Colby Lewis working on a 3-hitter and now has some run support, which has not really been there for Colby his last several games. He has lost 4 of his last 5 decisions as Colby, but the opponent's batting average during that time is around 220.
All 3 hits this inning have been line drives. No bloopers. I would love to have seen how far Smoke's ball would have gone if he got it up in the air, because that's one of those balls where you have your best swing at a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and you hit the ball exactly where you want to hit it on the bat and out in front of the plate.
Wilson gets Young. The Rangers strand 2. But Justin Smoke and Elvis Andrews, 2 youngsters, come through against Felix Hernandez. It is 5-1. Right there, the Rangers leading Seattle 5-1. Couple of 2 RBI doubles tonight. Hamilton's got 1 and Elvis has got 1. And now Colby Lewis working with a more comfortable 5-1 lead. Working on a 3-hitter.
Darren O'Day's going to start throwing. Ron would love to see a nice quick inning and have Colby get through 7 innings today. It'll be kind of borderline. He's at 104 pitches right now. He's probably got 14 or 15 pitches to get out of this inning, and Darren will be ready in case. Whoa, close.
Yeah, 106 pitches now for Colby, and it's 42 balls against 64 strikes, so it's not like he's been dominating that strike zone. There's Johnson sending one to center. Back goes Bourbon. It's off his glove. That ball really carried. And Rob Johnson has been quite a thorn for the Rangers tonight. He's been on base 3 times.
That ball looked like that's the jet stream right there. The line drive to right center field. Hasn't been doing much for the fly balls, but that ball definitely took off right off the top of Julio's glove.
Good look at it right there. Well, Colby, as you mentioned earlier, Tom, a lot of times this year, his best work is done with runners in scoring position.
Yep, he's been battling this whole game. After the 2nd inning, 1st inning and 2nd inning, 1, 2, 3. He had a nice 1, 2, 3 5th. So half his innings have been 1, 2, 3, and the others he's had to battle, especially the third and fourth. He threw a lot of pitches in both those innings. But he limited the damage to only 1 run.
Pours it in for a strike to Saunders. Did it again, 1-2. Seattle's only got 1 hit tonight with a runner in scoring position. That was to drive in their run back in the fourth. Again tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch. Look at Darren O'Day in that Ranger bullpen. Colby Lewis's pitch count at 111, which again was the 5-inning mark for each of the last 2 starters. Off speed, got him. A breaking ball from Colby Lewis to finish off Saunders.
Well, he gave up the double, came right back, made a good pitch right here. Good hard curveball down and in. Got Saunders to offer at it.
Colby said in Chicago he expects of himself 115 pitches at least every game. He's getting there.
Just such a difference. We mention this frequently too, between Colby now and Colby before he went to Japan. He's a pitcher now. A great idea of what he's doing out there. Uses all his pitches.
In every start this year, Tom, all 12 of them, it's been between 102 and 117 for the pitches. And I mean, you can't get much more consistent than that. Usually that gives around 7 innings to the Rangers, give or take.
And he's averaging about right where he is now, too. 6 1/3 innings per start.
That game that he went to 9 against Seattle, April the 30th, and that game was 0-0 when he left. That was 116 pitches to get through 9.
Yeah, that I think is Colby's best outing of the year, his best stuff.
Figgins, a tough guy to finish off. Colby had 10 strikeouts in that game against Seattle that we referenced. He's got half of that tonight. It is now 7th in the league in strikeouts. That breaking ball that struck out Saunders does not strike out Figgins. That wobble, that spike in the 3rd and the 4th. Pretty smooth ever since. Figgins pokes it up in the air. Bourbon takes command. He's going to make that catch. All right, so Ichiro will come up. Mike Maddox will go out, probably just to give him a little breather here, just check on him. Looks like Colby will get the chance to go to up over 120 pitches. He's at a high for the season now at 118. Matt Harrison went 127 in a game earlier this year against Seattle. That's the high for a Ranger.
We've got both guys throwing now, Chris Ray, Darren O'Day. Ron's plan may be that if Colby has to come out, one will come out and finish the 7th inning to get the last out, and possibly the other would go back out then and pitch the 8th. Or maybe it depends on who the hitter is. Maybe one is more suited in Ron's eyes to a certain hitter. We'll see.
Boy, it's nice that he's pitching with a more comfortable lead now, too, at 5-1. Ichiro, ground ball there, smoke, and it won't get to 120.
Exactly what they wanted.
They'll get to 119 and stop. The Rangers take it to the 7th inning stretch. Thank you, Colby Lewis. The Rangers up 5-1. This is Ranger Baseball, brought to you by the Ford F-150. Ford is the best in Texas. By Fred Loya Insurance, where being local matters. And by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com, grab your bag. It's on. Rangers trying to go to 6-2 against Seattle this year. And at least for the moment, grab a share of first place again. The Angels are playing tonight against the A's. And that one just underway. We'll check some other scores for you in this inning. Most importantly here, 5-1 Rangers. Beating Felix Fernandez. Well, the Yankees pouring it on the Orioles now. Tag it is 12-3 in Baltimore in the 8th inning. Native Baltimorean Mark Teixeira, home run number 9. That one hitting Kinsler.
And the hit by pitch is what got him in trouble last inning. He got Guerrero to ground out to start the 6th. Then he hit Josh with a pitch, and that started all the damage. Led to the 3-run inning.
Yeah, he rushed Josh on the toe. This one grazing Ian.
He just caught his uniform sleeve, it looks like.
And that did lead to some upheaval last inning. See if Vlad Guerrero can do that again here. He will bat following Kinsler. Crank to left field. There it goes. Guerrero. Home run.
That's the way Stokes' ball would have gone if he got it up the air a little bit. Vladdy hit the back wall behind the seats. Not much doubt about that one. And Felix Fernandez is having a very uncharacteristic game at the hands of the Ranger hitters. They've teed off on him pretty well today.
Well, when you get 7 against the King, you are hitting it. The Coors Light pulled a hard blast to the last pitch thrown by Felix Fernandez. Vlad Guerrero, no doubt. Looked like it hit near the windows back there, up over that ribbon strip of the scoreboard.
It's been a hit by pitch that started the rallies in the last 2 innings.
We mentioned earlier you can't keep a good man down. Guerrero was due for a base hit, at least one, at this ballpark tonight. And as the Mariners make their pitching change, we'll show you one more time. Vlad Guerrero hitting his 13th home run of the season. It is now 7-1 Rangers. And indeed a pitching change for the Seattle team now. We'll take a break and come back So a very happy ballpark in Arlington. They might tie it before Elvis Andrews made a sterling play to keep it 2-1. It's now 7-1. And the Verizon call to the bullpen goes out to Garrett Olson, the lefty, will come on to face Hamilton and Murphy. We're told the Vlad Guerrero home run tag went 422 feet.
Yeah, that thing was still traveling when it smashed against that back wall, too.
Hamilton, a ground ball to second. Vlad Guerrero, by the way, now to 49 runs batted in. And he's played in just a shade more than 50 games. Vlad is a big proponent of these specialized handshakes, by the way. He's got different ones with all the guys. David Murphy, who participates in all the handshakes, although you get the sense that he doesn't really invent them. He's just
he's good at them.
He's really good at them. He was telling the reporters the other day, remembering when Herman Duran was here.
Yeah.
And he and Michael Young had one where they'd have this elaborate thing, and then Herman would jump up on top of the dugout and pretend to be a piñata.
Oh, I love reading about that one.
Yeah, and Michael would just take these swings at the Herman Duran piñata.
And guys would throw bubble gum, making it look like they were coming out of the piñata.
Herman would kind of shake a little bit to simulate the the dropping of candy all over the place, and the guys would scurry to pick up phantom gum. And I think David Murphy's point was he was out on that one. He was not going to participate in anything that elaborate.
And people that don't want to see people have a lot of fun would call that a politically incorrect celebration, but I think it's pretty funny.
Herman Duran thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah,
he was the piñata.
He probably invented it.
The 2-2. And Murphy got a piece. You and Frank Howard didn't do all that when.
No, they didn't do those kind of things back then. Handshake was still in vogue back then.
Up too high to Murphy. With Justin Smoke on deck. Flicked away foul. Still just the one out in the inning. They hit batsman in the home run to start the inning. Boston beat Cleveland 3-2. That was Tim Wakefield. getting the victory for the Red Sox, who are getting better. They're 35-25. Tigers lead the White Sox 3-2 in the 6th. Murphy, boy, did he earn that walk to bring up Justin Smoke. Smoke has walked a couple times, and he had that at bat last inning. It was a defining at bat tonight. Our Jaguar extraordinary performance will take you through it.
Going to get behind in the count. Curveball for a strike. Fastball fouled away. And now a fastball just ripped into right field for a run-scoring single.
Justin really coming on after a 3-for-36 slump. Had a lot of people panicking, but not Justin and not Ron Washington. Twins lead the Royals 7-0 tonight in the 7th inning. Jason Kubel, a home run. Twins still on top in the AL Central. The Rays all over the Blue Jays, 9-0. That's gone final. And poor Jeff Neiman, what a night to pitch a complete game 2-hit shutout. No one will care because it was Steven Strasburg in the featured game tonight. His big league debut, if you haven't heard, 14 strikeouts in 7 innings.
I think Jeff will find solace in the fact that Steven Strasburg will be watching him pitch in the All-Star game this year. So
that's a good point.
He'll end up pretty well. Don't feel too badly for him.
A raucous stadium in D.C., and that's not been really something that happens. Above and beyond the hype tonight. Standing room only crowd. Fastballs were 99-ish. The 21-year-old was taken out after 7 innings. He had allowed 4 hits, no walks, 14 strikeouts. Smoke here is going to strike out himself. It'll bring up Max Ramirez. I'd forgotten about this, Tom. I'm reading the account of the game that the last guy with a 15 strikeout debut was J.R. Richard for the Astros in 1971.
Well, I faced J.R. that year when he was pitching in Oklahoma City, and it was not fun. Back then, the lights in minor league ballparks weren't major league standard. And they had J.R. Richards, Scipio Spinks, and Tom Griffin. You faced them in a 3-game series. You hope you walked a couple of times to keep from going 0 for 12 because those guys were really tough. Looked like J.R. was letting the ball go halfway to home plate. He was so big. And I'm not sure what the radar gun would have said on him. My guess is probably 96, 98 miles an hour. Hard sinker, hard slider. He was some kind of pitcher, boy.
Off speed, Max Ramirez now down 1-2. In that Washington Nationals Pittsburgh Pirates game, the catcher was Pudge Rodriguez in his 20th big league season, catching a guy who's only 21 years old. 40,315 in D.C. Phillies now leading the Marlins in a game that's gone back and forth, 10-8 in the 9th. Cubs and Brewers are tied 1-1 in the 8th. Well, where would the Cubs be without Carlos Silva, the former Seattle Mariner washout? He won 5 games in 2 years in Seattle. They paid him like $1 billion kajillion to do that. And the Cubs are 18-31 otherwise, but Silva's 8-0.
That's a hard one to figure out right there.
Slowly hit to short. Josh Wilson bobbles it. Max Ramirez is safe. 2 on, 2 out. E6. Mullins came up and hit him in the heel of the glove. By the way, in that Milwaukee game, that's a home run for Corey Hart to take over the National League lead with 15 of those.
It's not surprising that Milwaukee has the home run leader. It's just surprising that it's not Ryan Braun or Prince Fielder.
We're going to see those Brewers this weekend. The Fort Worth native Giovanni Gallardo will pitch against the Rangers on Sunday.
That'll be a test. That kid can pitch.
Julio Bourbon into right center field. That ball jumps a little bit to the track, but Gutierrez, so good, makes the catch to end the inning. An inning that included a 2-run cannon shot from Vlad Guerrero. It is 7-1. Some changes for the Rangers as we go to the 8th inning. And a nice night for baseball here in Arlington. On the mound and at second base is where the changes are. Andres Blanco in for Kinsler now at second. And on the mound, that would be Chris Ray, getting into his 29th game already. That's exactly half the Ranger games now Tom Hill had pitched in. And the ERA at 3.7.
Well, you're talking to Chris, he feels like he's all the way back from his arm surgery a couple years ago. Feels like he has the potential to be an even better pitcher now because he's added a curveball to his repertoire. Feels that he has very easily handled the workload of pitching frequently. He's pretty satisfied and happy where he is right now, and I don't blame him coming back from the arm problem he had.
Draws Milton Bradley, who immediately grounds one towards first. Smoke to Ray. Got it. One down. On one pitch. Well, Colby Lewis went 7. Allowed only 4 hits, 3 singles and a double. Kind of a wind current jet stream double. And just the 1 run allowed.
Well, it's just another solid performance for Colby. Exactly what you would expect. Pitch count under 120, right near 120. He battled, especially in the 3rd and 4th inning. That's when he had his highest pitch counts. That's when they had runners on base. That's when he had to make some big pitches to keep the damage down to only 1 run. And then he cruised through 5, 6, and 7. He pitched deep into the game. Another quality start. On line to go to 5 and 4, and doing exactly what the Rangers wanted to see him do when they signed him.
Cohen powered right by Gutierrez, who's got 2 hits tonight. Your Jexa Energy Strike Zone will show it to you. Braves and Diamondbacks tied 3-3 tonight. 3 solo homers for Arizona at home tonight. Johnson, Reynolds, and Upton. Rockies lead the Astros 3-2 in the 7th. Phillies-Marlins game has gone final at 10-8. Philadelphia wins it, and a chance to gain on Atlanta if the Braves don't win. Cardinals and Dodgers scoreless in the 1st. Fly ball towards right. And there is Murphy. Giants beat the Reds 3-0 behind Matt Cain. Mets over the Padres 2-1. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, thanks, Josh. Time for the progressive fan of the game. It's come down to 2 people. We got Tamara over here, and we got Trevor over here. Trevor, what do you think, big guy?
I love baseball. I love baseball. Baseball.
You love baseball, Tamara?
I love me some baseball.
Baseball. Okay, who is it? Trevor it is. There's the bag. There's the hat. There's the shirt. Congratulations, Trevor.
Thank you.
There we go, buddy. Long-time Ranger fan.
Well, that's a good sport on the losing side, though, I got to say.
He's trying to figure out what's going on right now, but
Lopez towards short. Elvis in the hole. Planting, throwing. The pick by Smoke.
nicely done all the way around.
Well, it's all going well right now. The Rangers 7 and Seattle 1. The bottom of the 8th when we come back. Tags the runner going by for the out. Coors Light Freeze Camp. Rangers leading 7-1, bottom 8. New pitcher coming out there now for Seattle to face Elvis Andrews. And a guy that used to be the closer and a really good one for the Washington Nationals. He was the National League Rolaids Relief Man of the year in 05. Had 47 saves. And then he got hurt and just fell off the map, and now he's trying to make his way back. Chad Cordero with the straight brim hat. First round pick out of Cal State Fullerton in 03. And yeah, by 05 he was clocking in with 47 saves and an ERA in the ones. But he missed pretty much all of last year with a shoulder problem. To third, and it skips right off of Lopez on in the left. Rangers have the leadoff man on. We'll wait and see how they score it. You know the pitch was right down the middle.
Definitely was.
Base hit for Elvis, a 3-hit night. Boy, Elvis now hitting .315. Michael Young rips it foul. You know, Cordero was the guy, Tag, if you remember. He needed only 19 minor league appearances, and that was all the way down in A-ball to prove he had the talent and the mettle to do this at the big leagues. They brought him along quick.
Yeah, I think he was one of those advanced college closers that when he was picked in the draft, that was probably the thought behind it. Not only is he a quality pitcher, but it's not going to take him long to be ready to pitch in the big leagues. That was good scouting. They were right. You see that a lot, I think, with the top college relief pitchers. When they're picked, kids that are first round type kids. Ryan Perry for the Tigers just popped into my mind. He didn't take long in the minor leagues. Those kids tend to get to the big leagues pretty quick.
Young in the air to Ichiro. And that great big glove makes that catch. Your glove was not nearly that size, was it? The kind that Ichiro has?
No, I don't know if they made them that big. But I think if you're an outfielder, you probably are best suited to using the biggest glove that the rules will allow.
That thing looks like their center fielder, Franklin Gutierrez, and that looks like a more normal glove.
I think that's more of a normal size glove. Ichiro is probably maxed out with the size of his glove.
That looks like a laundry basket.
If you're used to a smaller glove, it's hard to go to a glove that big. It just feels like it's too big and too heavy to handle. But let's face it, it gives you a little bit better chance to catch every ball that you have to dive for or jump for.
Blanco's first at bat. We'll check out the size of the glove of the left fielder now. Michael Saunders.
Like a rather large glove, too.
Vlad Guerrero comes up, and he's got the big bat. A 2-run homer last inning. That was a thrill for these fans as that ball just thunked up against the windows out there in left field. Speaking of gloves, none for Vlad. No batting gloves. Sends that one to right towards the foul pole and bending away. Foul. That was almost 2 homers on 2 swings. Your AL West standings, courtesy of Jack in the Box. The A's lead the Angels tonight, 1-0. If they can keep that up, boy, you'd have a really jammed up, even more so than now, top 3. It would be the Rangers by half a game over the Angels, and the Angels by half a game over the A's. 0-2 to Vlad. He'll take a little bit outside. That's the one that ended the game against the Cubs right there. Vlad called out on that exact pitch. In the air, center field. And that'll do it for the Rangers here. They do not score in the 8th, but they will take a 7-1 lead to the 9th. Same two teams tomorrow, 7:05 first pitch. We invite you to come on out. $1 hot dog night tomorrow. Some changes for the Rangers as we go to the 9th. Most notably on the mound, that is Darren O'Day facing Mike Karp. Excellent year again for Darren O'Day, 2.4 ERA. The Rangers get their third second baseman of the night into the game. There's Joaquin Arias, and that'll bump Blanco to third. So both Kinsler and Young get to watch the rest of the way. One lone chanter down there, Tom, for Darren O'Day.
Not a chanting night, I guess.
Well, with the World Cup coming up, we'll hear, kind of versions of that chant, I'm sure, a lot. The U.S. against England on Saturday. We'll be able to watch that before the Rangers take on Milwaukee. I think that's about a 1:30 kick Central Time. I'm looking at Bouvet up here in the booth, our camera operator with a thumbs up. He's our World Cup expert. So, yeah, we can watch the U.S. and England, and then the Rangers and the Brewers. We only have to announce one of them, though. And we haven't decided which one yet.
Nope.
2-2 the count. Karp, Wilson, and Johnson doing the inning. Up and outside, 3-2. Colby Lewis on line for his 5th win. He'd be the first Ranger starter to get to 5. There's one reliever at 5. That's Frankie Francisco. So the Rangers had let's see, 3 guys with 2 RBI base hits tonight. Elvis Andrews, Josh Hamilton, those were doubles. And Vlad Guerrero, the 2-run home run.
Elvis kind of broke it up. Josh started it. Smoke had a big RBI to make it a 2-run game. And then Elvis had a big one after that.
The one by Smoke, as we talked about earlier, on an 0-2 count. And Josh Hamilton with a 2-strike situation as well. But yes, Smoke just keeps coming on now. He's been on base 3 times tonight. Really good defense, too. O'Day trying to finish off Karp. This is a 9 coming up on a 10-pitch at bat. Only 2 pitches actually in the strike zone. A pop-up, and Blanco waits. He has got it. Rangers Live comes up after the game tonight. We break down what looks like a Ranger victory right now. John Radigan standing by. Hello, John.
Hello, Josh. Yeah, as you know, the mood of our show is often determined by the fans who congregate behind us, and the mood of the fans who congregate behind us is determined by 2 things. The team's success, so far so good, and the weather, 70-something degrees. Are you kidding me? We're going to have a great show. We can't miss. Beautiful show right here tonight, right after the game.
I'm going to hold you to that, John.
Also, the attitude of the host seems to,
might have something to do with it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So keep smiling. A strike to Josh Wilson. Colby Lewis will go to 5-4. Felix Fernandez, King Felix, will drop to 3-5. Tomorrow, the winless Ian Snell, 0-4 against C.J. Wilson. And C.J. obviously looking to get back to where he was back in April and early May. O'Day slings that one in there for a strike. Thursday is going to be Tommy Hunter against Ryan Roland Smith. And the Rangers will head to Milwaukee after that. Updating that A's and Angels game. Last we heard, 1-0 in favor of the A's. That's where they are in the third. Again, Michael Young gets a chance to watch this final half inning. Kinsler, same deal. Well, it's going to be 17 pitches at least to 2 batters. That ball punched in a left. Hamilton's there. So the Rangers getting close to going to 31-27. And just for the moment anyway, they'll be tied for first in the West. Three-hit night for Elvis Andrews. 3 of the 9 Ranger hits. O'Day to Rob Johnson outside. Again, 7:05 first pitch tomorrow. Dollar hot dogs. On the ground, Elvis Andrus waits. He's got it. Ball game. Clean and crisp. Well done by the Rangers tonight. Andrus after the day off. And Vlad Guerrero with a big swing tonight. Those were the 2 hitting heroes. The Rangers.